Hi guys, Beth here, aka Mediagirl94. Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another manga haul wrap-up collection for the month of July. Yes, I've been doing these quite a while now and I still do not quite know how to do an intro or what to call them. Let's just call it a bit of a gimmick by now because you guys are probably sick of it. I'm sick of it. It depends. Whatever I've called it, it'll probably be like a July manga haul. Self-explanatory, I'm going to be sharing with you guys the manga that I have bought the month of July. I have 10 volumes, I have 5 normal volumes, and I have 5 BL volumes because I have money. I like BLs, why the hell not? Before we begin, if you'd like to support me and the channel in the future, you can by clicking a like to show me some love. You can click subscribe and tap that bell to be notified when I upload on this channel. Enough rambling, let's just dive straight into this July manga haul. I think we're going to start off with the 5 volumes of BL. For those of you who don't know, BL is boy love. Boy on boy. Pretty self-explanatory. The first volume, it should come as no surprise with these recent hauls I've been doing. It is Yarichin Bitch Club. This is volume 2. I know what you're thinking, Beth, didn't you show us volume 3 last month? That's right, I bought volume 2 and 3 separately. However, in the mess that is my room, I could not for the life of me find where I put volume 2 once I bought it. And well, I found it. So that is why I showed you volume 3 last month and volume 2 this month. Because, well, I just found it. I am obsessed with this series. An innocent boy goes to a boarding school, joins a photography club. Turns out the photography club is pretty much full of sex and selling their bodies. He's also a virgin. There's comedy, there's romance, there's a little bit of raunchiness, but yeah, it's trying to not spoiler it. I've actually introduced a couple of friends and I have made them read it and they've gone, okay, it's pretty humorous, so I'm slowly winning people over with this series. Moving on. Up next we have volume 3 and volume 4 of Given. It is by now a given that you're going to probably see at least one of these volumes per these hauls until I'm up to date with the series. This is one of my favourite BLs. I've read the series in the past, I've watched the anime, and now I'm at that stage where I'm like, you know what, I want to collect the volumes. It's pretty much lads in a band, there's emotion, there's drama, it gets dark at points. This is definitely one of the series I highly recommend checking out. I also recommend checking out the anime. It's not that bad, and I just feel like Given is one of those series that people have heard about, but they don't really give it a chance. I love the friendships and like the romance and like there's constant twists. So if you want a twisty boy love, then check out Given. Up next is Hitori Chim My Hero. I think I said that right. Volume 1. This was actually one that I picked up randomly in my local Waterstones. And I believe it's one of like an older series because I was seeing people making videos about the anime like back in 2017, so I'm a little late to the trend, but then technically Waterstones is late to the trend because I found this randomly on the shelf and I was like, okay. So the gist of the story, these are the 2 leads on the front. The blonde is like a bit of a delinquent, but like he doesn't really want to be a bully, he's in like a bit of a gang, and he is saved by this hot teacher who's also a little bit of a bad boy, and well, there's friendship, romance, it says here on the back, his budding feelings, so you know, I'm not quite sure where this is going to go. This was a complete blind buy. It's apparent because I didn't think it was originally a BL because normally it would say on the side, but then I had a friend go, it's kind of, so you know, even though it doesn't say like BL like most BLs do on the spine apparently. And I was like, oh hey ho, that's probably why I was drawn to it. But yeah, this was a blind buy. But a couple of friends have read it and they've gone, it's alright. You might like it, you might not like it, so who knows. But I'll let you know if I keep picking up volumes. And the final volume of BL is volume 1 of Turns Out My Online Friend Is My Real Life Boss. Now that is a little bit of a mouthful. These are the 2 leads. He's the boss, he's the employee, this guy overworks this guy. However, the two of them are friends in this fantasy virtual world, and they decide, at least in this volume, to meet up in real life, and they're very surprised to see that it's one another. Again, this was just like a blind buy, like the last volume was in Waterstones. It was right next to it. And again, well, this literally says on the back of BL Dramedy, so I knew what I was getting into when I picked this up. I have skimmed through it, and there appears to be maybe like a third character who is a part of like their online group. So I'm not sure, there might be a love triangle. But I'm really intrigued. This was like a really like chunky volume. So I'm not sure if it's like a collection. But they only had volume 1. So, you know, I'll probably have to buy the rest online if it interests me. But yeah, I just thought it's an interesting title, and why the hell not? I need some BL in my life. I'm single, by the way, so that's probably why I'm doing a buying increase in BLs, but that's got nothing to do with it. These two characters, it's going to be, I have a feeling it's going to be like a little bit cliche. Is the boss going to change his ways when he realises that this guy who's been ranting to him is his subordinate, and he's like, my boss is a bit of a bully? And then this guy's like, oh, I'm going to have to change my ways, but, you know, be subtle about it. So I'm really interested to see where this story goes, but that is the final volume of BL in this month's manga haul. Up next is the 5 normal volumes of manga in this haul, and what I mean by normal, I mean not BLs. Up first is volume 1 of Blue Box. Now, this wasn't a random buy. I did go into Worlds Apart here in Liverpool with the intention of at least buying volume 1, because I've heard really good things online about this series. You've got a badminton guy who befriends a basketball girl, and apparently it's cute. That's all I have been told by friends who have read this series. I've been trying to avoid like spoiler reviews online, but a lot of people are really hyping up this series, and there's actually quite a few volumes out. I believe I saw at least 8 volumes on the shelf of my local store, so you know, it might be one of the popular ones, I'm not sure, but I thought I would give it a go because I actually really liked the designs on the cover of the characters, and like it kind of like reminds me of like this artwork of like older series. And what I mean by that is like older manga series had like a way of drawing characters which is kind of basic, but I feel like it adds like a lot of charm to the characters. So I was kind of drawn also to like the art design, and like flipping through, I'm like, yeah, it's an art design I can get behind. But yeah, I know nothing about this series, but I really want to like it because a lot of people have told me it's so good, so why the hell not pick up volume 1. The next 2 volumes I'm going to briefly talk about are kind of on like the same lines as Given. I have read this series in its entirety like in the past, but I finally decided to start collecting the manga volumes, and I'm not sure if I'm going to collect the individual volumes or I'm going to try and find a cheap deal on the box set. It is Bakuman! Yes! Like, everyone should know this series. Literally, it's about manga artists and how hard it is to be a manga artist. So, yeah. And it's also by the creator of Death Note, so you know it's gonna be good. So, yeah. I have, like I said, I've read this series, it's like Given, but I'm undecided because there's quite a few volumes, and I'm trying to do the math if it's cheaper just to buy the box set, so... But yeah, it's one of those classic series that I highly recommend like people check out. Like, I remember reading this because like a friend gave me like the first couple of volumes like years ago, and I was like, oh, this is like really interesting, because I was just getting into reading manga. And well, this series is very accurate about the struggles and like kind of what goes into being like a manga artist, so I highly recommend it. I don't really think at this point like it can be considered like spoilers because of how long this series, it's not a new series, it's an old series. But yeah, the characters, like the art design, chef's kiss, all around. So I'm finally happy to be collecting it. but I'm not sure if in the future you'll be seeing me buy individual volumes or you might see a box set down the line. Will depend what my budget allows. Okay, the second to last, well, the second to last, yeah, technically it is the second one because the next one's going to be the last, is Volume 3 of Polar Bear Cafe, the Collector's Edition. Yes, I have my heart set on picking up, I believe, all 5 volumes. I've also realised I did not peel the price tag off the back of this. This is $15.99. That's right, each of these volumes has cost me $15.99, and they're actually not that big. I'm finding that nowadays, I'm going to go on like a little bit of a rant, that, you know, there are like manga series and like manga volumes that aren't very thick, or like they don't have like much girth to them, and they're like up to like 15 to like £17, and I'm like, what the... This is, some of the volumes I look at them and I go, that's a little bit like extortionate. Like, you couldn't just spend like your pocket money on like volumes of manga anymore. I remember when I was younger and I was like reading manga for the first time and I was going around like collecting it, you could buy it really cheap, and that was back like in the day where volumes were like $6.99, $5.99, $7.99 at a push. But like some volumes you think nowadays, they're very extortionate for like the size, and like unless it's like a story that grips you, or you know it's something that's worth your time, you've got to think, is it worth the investment? But for me, like Polar Bear Cafe, I believe, I don't mind because it's a collector's edition, so I want to say that's why this one cost $15.99. But I have seen other volumes of manga that aren't collector's editions that are also the same price, and I'm like, something doesn't add up. They're definitely aiming more at adults or people who are older, who have their own income. Like myself, I have a job, I put money aside each month for like my hobby, which is like gig tickets, manga, anime, and video games. Mainly on my Switch and like buying 3DS games, but everyone's got their hobbies. This is a cute slice of life, and yeah. Polar Bear Cafe, it's a polar bear, he runs a cafe. It's about his friends who are animals, who talk. There are people in this world who interact. It's just so cute and addictive, and I remember when I read the first volume I was like, ugh, I don't think I'm gonna like this. And then when I picked up volume 2, I've got volume 3 right here, and I intend to pick up 4 and 5 as soon as I can. Not just to round off the series so it looks nice on my manga shelf, but because I'm really invested in these characters, like the friendships. It's just, if you want to feel good about yourself, a slice of life anime and like slice of life manga, they're usually the series that I would recommend if people want like a little bit of like lightheartedness and like nothing too serious. So Polar Bear Cafe, I highly recommend. Do I think it's worth $15.99? The story's great, I love the characters, I love the art, but for the size, I would have at least gone like 12 at a push. But people are clearly buying it. I mean, look at me, I bought it. But yeah, Polar Bear Cafe is the second to last piece of manga that I have bought this month. Moving on. And the final volume of manga, or volumes, because it's technically like it's an omnibus, is Tokyo Revengers Volume 21 and 22 with my boy Kazaki on the cover. I actually don't know who's on the inner cover. Of course, it's our lead, Takamichi, but Kazaki, this boy just needs some like love and attention. I don't really know what else I can say about Tokyo Revengers. I'm up to date with the anime. It's a series that I didn't check out when it first came out, and so I've recently been like buying up the manga. They've been doing omnibuses. They are very chunky boys. I'm a little bit annoyed about the price increase, because when I first started buying the volumes, I want to say they were like $15.99, so like the same price as when I was buying the Full Metal Alchemist volumes. They're now $20.99 a volume, and I'm like, and I believe there's like 29, 30 volumes, so you know, I've still got quite a ways to go, so my bank account is crying. I'm not going to spoil the story for anyone who wants to like read or watch Tokyo Revengers, but Kazaki has pretty much been the bane of Takemichi's life for a while now in the series, and well, he finally gets his comeuppance in this timeline. We all know what happens if you've read the series, we all know how it ends. But in terms of this volume, it's very dramatic, like these two volumes alone, and like it sets up like the next arc, because I love the Tenjuku arc, which was like in the last like volume, and well, this kind of sets up what's coming next, and it's such... I know a lot of people like are 50-50, but good characters, I like the writing, I like the art style, and I just feel like, I don't know how to put it, but like it's one of those series that like I find myself rereading, and that's only because I have to wait like 4 months in between each volume coming out. I'm also obsessed with like the Tokyo Revengers, like the puzzle game, that gacha game and gacha games and Tokyo Revengers, and like match free. Yes, please. Like winner winner chicken dinner. But I say that because I know I've got some friends that started reading this series and then they gave up because they were like, I don't really like it. If you've done the same thing, if you have started this series and gone, maybe it's not for me, I highly recommend picking it back up, because each volume is in depth, and the storyline and like the arcs and like the time like leaping and all the drama that comes with it, and like actions having consequences. It is such a well written series, and I'm going to continue like buying them, A, for my own collection, and B, so I can shove them down more people's throats. But yeah, Tokyo Revengers just ends my July manga haul. So there we have it, guys and girls of the internet. That was just my July manga haul. I hope you guys learned something about me and, well, my taste in manga. As you can see, I am a variety queen. You know, I love my BLs, I love my action, I love my dramas, my romance, my fantasy, my slice of life. I am not very picky when it comes to anime or manga, so if you have any recommendations, comments is the place to go. Let's start a conversation, but let's just wrap up this video before I continue to ramble. If you'd like to support me and the channel in the future, you can by clicking a like to show me some love. You can click subscribe and tap that bell to be notified when I upload on this channel. At the end of this video, you can check out my last 2 videos or playlist, depending on what mood I'm in when I'm editing this. Until next time, I'm Beth, Mediagirl94, goodbye.